Round 12, the halfway mark of the Lewis Hamilton career mode on F1 24 brings us to Lewis's home Grand Prix at Silverstone. Guys, the previous episode linked in the top right at Austria. Spoiler warning ahead, go watch it, but let's get into it. So, the last race, we had a very good weekend. We won the sprint and finished second in the main race. Sergio Perez was absolutely insane that weekend, but crucially we outperformed Max, we outperformed Leclerc, and both our rivalries look good. Because of that, we also pick up an increase in driver ratings, and we officially level up to 91, which officially means we've hit our contract target for the season. We agreed this in the very first episode to a 91 rating overall, and we have finally achieved it. So, specialists, we also gain on all of them except for quality assurance tester. So right now, we have essentially fulfilled our contract obligations. So we'll see what sort of knock-on effect that has down the line. We arrive at Silverstone leading the championship outright, not equal on points. Currently 9 points ahead of Verstappen, and we're currently 30 points behind Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship. So, as you can see on this contract graph, we've hit our target. It's been a completely upward trajectory the whole way through, and we've done it. Job done. So, we don't have to focus now or care about the rating anymore because we've done our job. So, with that in mind, our focus will turn elsewhere, and we're going to basically work on other parts of the car, the team, and different objectives. Starting off with upgrades. Now, one thing that's been hanging over our head for a long time is the ICE. It's the most worn component in our engine. We're already about to put our third one in, and we have 12 races to go, so we need this on the car to make it work. In the championship, or the rival, should I say, the championship rival, you can see we need 1 more point overall to beat Leclerc and 23 points in the championship to beat Verstappen. So we're very close to both goals now. For specialists, this episode we are going to go for manufacturing expert, and we're going to do complete, I believe, to keep the tyres at 120 degrees or lower. Also, wind tunnel, we're going to make sure we reach 281 kilometers an hour. Pretty easy at Silverstone, very fast circuit. Power unit, again, very simple, reach a top speed of 323, because that should be done on the hanger straight. And then we skip through the next couple and we get to quality assurance, which is also going to be an easy one, and essentially spend over 45 seconds in fourth gear at Silverstone should be a piece of cake. So here we go, race weekend time. You can see in the bottom right we have a component wear warning, which we'll get into in just a bit. You can see in our rivalry versus Leclerc, we have a 1 point overall lead, so we have to try and get to 92. The first one there wins the rivalry. Now, I wasn't given a forecast, but you can see we have dynamic changeable weather in qualifying and the race, so a chance of rain in both sessions. So we're going to have a classic bit of British weather for this weekend, and we'll see how it all works out and how it all kind of affects proceedings for the weekend. You can see in the performance chart, Formula A and Formula B very, very clearly cut. McLaren have actually brought upgrades and they've overtaken us this weekend, as do Ferrari also bring upgrades, so we're dropping to third place now in the chart. We jump into practice, currently on our 5th and final lap of the race runs, using that very old power unit and getting the car dialed in, trying to feel good here around this new updated Silverstone layout, of course, with the new changes this year.
Program complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can take you through the numbers.
So returning from our race runs, we had excellent tyre wear, especially around a track like this. Really, really good. Fuel consumption also really, really good. So the car working well. Also our pace was just getting better and better and better every single lap. So we've got a really good race car underneath us this weekend, and hopefully it will help push Lewis to the top of the table in both qualifying and the race this weekend. We finished practice in the top 6 on mediums, which is a really good sign, and we pick up maximum points after practice, using up all the engine components to really maximize all those points. We rank up on experience to 98 overall, so again, constantly improving and finding even more ratings improvement in this career mode. Now, before we jump into qualifying, I mentioned Worn Engine and I mentioned about running a new ICE, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're also going to pair that up with a brand new MGUH, which we also need to try and at some point purchase an update for. And then finally, of course, the control electronics, which was also pretty secondhand. Anyway, qualifying time.
A one-time airfield fully owned by cars in this era. One of the finest ribbons of racetrack anywhere on Earth. It's high speed, it's dramatic, it's Silverstone.
Rain, rain, rain. Full wet tyres on the car. It's tipping it down in Silverstone. So we'll see how we get on. Currently at the end of our first lap in this session. Getting an understanding in the grips of the car. Also, one thing to note, I'm only using hot lap mode. I'm refusing to use overtake because I saw you guys in the comments pointing out that, you know, I should be running hot lap because the AI don't use overtake. So for the first time this season and for the next few episodes, we're going to basically respect the AI and their limitations and not run overtake in qualifying.
So the rain's easing off a bit, but the track is still going to be wet for a while. Be careful. Full wet seem like the best tyre for now.
So with that in mind, we get a weather forecast update, and it seems like there is going to be an improvement, but the question is when. We're currently purple in Sector 2. We had a very conservative first lap. This now is a lot more on the money, pushing the limits, and we drop into the 139s and go straight to the top. And then Hamilton instantly gets displaced by Alonso, who goes quicker. So the track is evolving, but next lap, even quicker again. And this time, no one's really improved. So we are kind of on our own here, and we are the last car to finish a lap. And we find 8.5 tenths to go P1 with a 138.8. So literally putting the hammer down, classic Hamilton style in Silverstone. Now, at the end of qualifying, the AI were going back out on wets, but you can see the dry line is extremely noticeable. There is a clear dry line forming on the track, but the AI are all going for wets, which I wasn't sure about. So Lance Stroll actually went out a bit earlier than others, and he crossed the first sector split setting a 30.7, which is quicker than anybody. So even though he's on wet, it tells me the track's getting fast. So I actually put the inters on, and you can see here, look at the time gain. I've been doing a lap, basically driving inside the little kind of channel here, making sure we don't wash out onto the wet stuff, and we are going 2 seconds quicker as we cross the line, and that moves us straight into first. I was in P5, but I wasn't sure if maybe the AI would find more time or improve again, so better safe than sorry. Inters on the car and job done. You can see we go way quicker. To be fair, even on wets, the AI went quicker than what I did. So yeah, the big one, multiple scalps in Q1. Both McLarens, George Russell and Charles Leclerc, all out in Q1. A huge amount of scalps in that session. So that brings us on to Q2, and with a few minutes gone in the session, we go out on that exact same set of tyres we just used at the end of Q1. You can see the dry line just very visible here, and it's just very quick. We're currently purple in Sector 2. The AI have gone for wets, or maybe some of them have. I mean, at least Magnussen has. I don't know if everybody else has kind of followed. We'll find out when we enter onto the pit straight and cross the line, but either way, currently finishing our lap. The car working really well now with these conditions, and these tyres are clearly the right ones. Across the line we go, and we're straight into first. So other cars have actually set times on inters, but we go quicker than them, and we take P1. But we keep on pushing for another lap, and you can see we're finding time all over the place. And just like in Q1, we are almost 8 tenths up, finding even more time. Purple, we lose a little bit.
Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Out the final corner, but we cross the line for a 34.6, and we extend our lead, which was ultimately enough for us. Now, at the end of the session, again, mixed tyres. However, only a handful of cars went out. The only one to go inters was Sargent. Everybody else went wet, and there was only about 5 cars on track. So no threat for us, we got through comfortably. Sainz made it through on wets, and Sergio Perez was the big scalp in that one, knocked out in Q2, which means there's only really Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen who are a threat to us in Q3 left in qualifying. So soft tyres are now on the car. It got dry really quickly in the transition from Q2 to Q3, and it makes those running wets look really dumb. But anyway, dry tyres on. I will admit the track was not there on this first lap. It felt very icy, but we go P1 provisional pole with a 1:28.8. We was the last car to set a lap, so we had the best track conditions, but the track just wasn't there. But for this last set of laps, the track was rubbered in and it was fully dry. So now it's time for serious business.
And that's just 30 seconds left in the session. Excellent lap. We're all very pleased with that one. Nice work. Come on, I'll see you back in the pits.
What can I say? Another brilliant lap on the limit, absolutely everywhere. The only person in the 125s, Sir Lewis Hamilton. Pole position by a quarter of a second over Max Verstappen, not even using overtake mode. So a really convincing performance, and yeah, you can see the margins and the gaps speak for themselves. Again, our only rivals are going to be the Verstappen and Sainz because everybody else got knocked out earlier on. So qualifying done, we now go to the race, and the big question is, what weather conditions are we going to have in the main event?
Britain is one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every year of the Formula One World Championship. Long may it continue. It is a circuit of speed, history and drama. It's Silverstone, it's the British Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years with Turn 1, now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid we have Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Tsunoda, Albon, Ricciardo, Ocon, Bottas, Perez, Hülkenberg, Sargent, Gasly, Magnussen, Leclerc, Russell, Norris, Oscar Piastri, and Zhou Guanyu. And now it's time to head down to the track. And we welcome you to the commentary box overlooking the circuit. I'm Alex Jakes, and I'm joined by Anthony Davidson. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Right, here we go. Time for Hamilton's home race. Silverstone, pole position. Can we make it another race win? The pace has been excellent all weekend. The Mercedes has been hooked up and we're looking very strong. Now, there is one wildcard element, and that is the weather forecast. We saw before there might be rain, and there is rain. At the end of the race, 2 rain icons. Now, this is tricky for strategy, but originally, the game recommended the bottom one, the alternate strat, starting on softs, moving to mediums around lap 12. I've changed that to starting on mediums and then going to softs later on. I feel like the medium's a good race tyre, it should last pretty well, and we can basically take it pretty far into the race, hopefully straight into the rain if necessary. So fuel-wise, I've gone for 0.2 extra. We should save some in the pit stop / if it rains. So yeah, pretty much ready to go and locked in. Hopefully a good start, try and control the race and see if we can try and break DRS. Hopefully we've got that sort of pace. If not, it could be a different race. Lots of DRS, lots of overtakes, slipstream, it could be chaotic. Either way, let's get into it. Now, one thing to note, we are the only car on medium tyres, so that could be a big disadvantage. But because of the jumbled up grid, it's only really the top 5 we have to worry about, possibly just Verstappen and Sainz. So we'll be patient, play the long game. No need to panic. Anyway, let's line her up and let's get ready. It's showtime. Here we go. British Grand Prix, cloudy skies, rain forecast. You love to see it. Lights out and away we go. Not a bad start. Sainz though gets an absolute flyer off the line and goes straight into first place. Heading towards turn 3. We're going to try and get that one back. Up the inside we go. Sainz still there. Runs a bit high. Again there, just kind of twitching and jittering all over the place. Back on the battery on the overtake as we look to fight back here versus Sainz. Aggressive start. We bang wheels as Sainz tries to shift left. We're going to just put the squeeze on, but Sainz is still there, so I just have to open up the line. And the back end gets loose through Luffield. Here we go. You know what's going to happen here. We're going to go side by side into Copse. Can we get in front? Oh my god, it's close. We're still going for it. What a first lap. We're going to keep the battery on. And now we just get in front of Sainz into the S's. Wow. Best first lap of the season so far. What a scrap. We bottom out on that curb as we race down the hanger straight. Sainz looking to repass, but no way through. We take a slightly conservative line, covering the inside, and then opening up at the last minute. We've run out of deployment, so that's our battery done for the lap. Just got to make sure we get a nice, tidy exit here as we run down towards turn 1.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Sainz tried it one more time there into turn 1, but we just took the wide line, give the squeeze, and then opened it up and managed to go around the outside. We'll see now how Sainz does with DRS for the first time. We don't have a lot of battery to work with here. I think our straight line speed is pretty decent. We'll manage and stay in front into Brooklands. Let's see if Verstappen gets involved. That was a lovely Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. We're going to use the battery to try and stay in front here into Stowe, which I think we're going to achieve. And actually Max now going for the move on Sainz, which is what we want. Although it seems like Max has gone through straight away, which isn't what I wanted. I wanted a bit more battling between those two. Max will be quicker than the Ferrari, so he'll be more of a threat. Either way, we're managing for now. Max is on to us straight away. I don't have a lot of battery, so if Max wants to go for it, he can. And he does. He runs really wide. Doesn't even try to make the apex, and now Sainz trying to capitalise from all of that. We'll hold on for now though. Let's try and stick with Verstappen, who is trying to build a gap. Sainz will have a look into Copse, but we're not going to have any of that. We're going to go around the outside and hang on once again. Let's try and settle in behind Max. give it a couple of laps and the softs will start to just lose their peak a little bit and we'll be back in this race. We're doing a good job anyway on mediums, hanging in here.
Okay, we don't think we're far away from rain now. I'll keep you updated as conditions change.
Okay, that's earlier than planned, so I mean we're on the right tyre to go long if necessary, so I ain't got to worry about going long. Oh my god, it's raining already. Huh? Wait, it's already raining. Oh my days. Okay, this could be an interesting race. We'll see if it's heavy rain or even that effective. You know, it could be very light for a long time until we get to the inters. I guess we'll see how things progress. The grip is starting to go already. I'm going to pass Max here. I think I've got a bit more pace. So we'll go back through. I don't know if I'll be able to get that fastest lap back away from Verstappen. I think he might have the point. The grip already starting to fade, so I don't know if we're going to beat it. I was quick in sector 1.
Okay, I think we're still on the right tyres for the time being.
Yeah, I couldn't quite get it. That's a shame. Right, let's see how the weather evolves.
Okay, Lewis. Right, we've got a full battery, which means we can use more of it to gain performance. Let's go.
Yep, leave me to it. I'll do that for you. Ooh, first little snap on the back end.
Great stuff, mate. You hit the target well there. Nice one. It's a long way to go in this race, though, so keep your head down.
I'm still pushing. We've dropped signs. I'm trying to keep Verstappen behind because if the weather does change, I want to be first into the pits. At the minute, it's a very slow weather change. We're still much quicker on dries than intermediates, but we are starting to get there.
It's still not a perfect situation, but I don't think we've got cause to move on to a different tyre yet.
Literally on cue. Mark confirming what I just said. I think Max might have a chance here though. I don't have a lot of battery. So this might be a genuine chance for Verstappen to go through. We get good traction though. So I think we might just hang on. Yep. Oh my god. That was a big one. I'd had a decent exit and got the edge on Max, but now he's fighting back. To the outside goes Verstappen, but we're going to outbrake him. Oh yeah, the grip now is starting to get a bit thin. I reckon one more lap, possibly, before we have to wave the white flag and switch to inters. To be fair, that might have actually been the lap. We'll try and soldier on. 5 seconds slower.
We'll be seeing at least 20 minutes of light rain. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
I think it's still okay on dry tyres. It's still manageable. It's going to be inters when it does change. It's not going to be a short sprinkle. It will be enough for intermediates. Verstappen closing in again, but not close enough. Still enough grip though on the tyres, so we can probably go one more. Let's see what the lap is over the line. I just want to see, compared to last lap, how much slower we were. Still no one's pitting. Okay, a little bit more now, 6.2 Verstappen on the inside. Oh, that's really close in these conditions. Verstappen's putting big pressure on. Trying to hang on now. At this point we've probably got the better tyre, but the soft might just have a bit more natural grip in these conditions. Temperature might be a bit better as well on those tyres. Good exit out of turn 4. That's going to take the pressure off. I think I'm going to go this lap.
Understood. Stopping this lap.
We've got inters selected, ready to go. I remember in qualifying we did a 1:35 on inters. The last lap was a 34.7, so I think we're at that crossover point, so I'm going to go for it. Oh wow, the pit entry line's way further back this year compared to the past games with the new Silverstone. That's my first actual proper pit entry, so
So this rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future.
lesson learned for future races. Anyway, good stop here, absolutely crucial for us. And it's a slow one. Again, 4.7. That could be a deciding factor. Either the left rear or the right rear was a slow one going on. I think it's the right time. I think we'll see DRS disabled any second. I think this is the right lap to pit. Like I said, based off the lap times, it makes sense. We've got to be quick on these.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
So back on track. Let's get straight on the pace. We'll knock the brake bias forward by a couple of clicks to 57. And that should take care of the rear end being unstable. Yeah, this is way better on traction. Let's make use of this. Verstappen stays out. I think everybody is. It's the AI doing that thing again where they're using dry tyres on a wet track. Look at the gap to Zhou compared to when we rejoin the pits. We've gained 2 seconds. It's definitely into. So this is the right call. So we're not going to use battery. We're not going to fall into the trap. We're just going to recharge.
Disabled by the stewards. DRS will be offline. Wait for further updates.
It's intermediates. It is. We'll be on the back of these guys by the end of the next lap. We've made the right call.
Okay, Lewis. Let's try and climb up the order if we can. We're setting you a new target. Push, push.
That's about as easy as it gets for objective. Literally as easy as possible. We're about to get P19 straight away. I said we'll be on the back of these guys by the end of the next lap. We're going to be there already, midway through pretty much. Zhou's overtaken Magnussen, so Magnussen's going to be the first stop of this overtake tour. We'll see now. Surely the AI will pit now the DRS has been disabled. It makes sense. Surely they'll box. You can see just the difference in grip we have. So straight through we'll go on Magnussen here. And yeah, the AI pit, but Verstappen crucially does not. Verstappen does not pit. Wow.
Yeah, really good job on hitting that target, mate. Nice work. Still a long way to go, though.
Had actually a collision there with Magnussen. I thought I just avoided hitting him. Clearly not.
George is in the pits. He's in the pits now.
Only a handful of cars are staying out, but Red Bull have not pit Verstappen. That is baffling. And now the remaining cars are in, finally. But that's ruined their races. We've got a yellow flag in the S section. A safety car now would make things very interesting, but there's Verstappen now onto intermediates. Perez is out, so his teammate. Wow. Red Bull would have just pit Perez instead of Verstappen. And they could have done it the other way around, and Perez is instantly retired. That's a complete backfire for Red Bull. That's going to sting. We'll see if Max rejoins in P2, because he lost a lot on this lap. Alonso was P3, we had a decent gap, and you can see he's actually behind him, so Verstappen has lost a lot of time with that. Right call from us. Got a fair bit more wear, you know, 11 on the rear compared to Verstappen 0 now, so we'll have to manage that if the race goes to the end, but we've got the gap we need, and our pace was really good in qualifying in these conditions. First warning, track limits, just a bit too wide there through the final corner. Alonso and Verstappen are pretty quick, slightly quicker than me in the last couple of laps. The gap now under 8 seconds. Maybe there's a bit of that in that tyre wear difference, but like I said, we're going to just manage the gap. It was worth pitting when we did. Rear tyre's getting a little bit hot from what I can tell. I think my left rear is just bleeding into that yellow a little bit. 90 degrees Celsius. Left rear also suffering the most wear, so we are very rear limited here. Verstappen and Alonso are catching at a reasonable rate. I fear Verstappen does overtake Alonso, he'll be even quicker. And there we go, Verstappen goes through on Alonso, but they've lost crucially about a second, so that's a small advantage we gain with 8 more laps to go after this one.
Okay, Lewis, we've got some clear track in front of us, and let's make the best of it. So please make this next one a very fast lap.
I don't know what these goals are for sometimes. That lap time is like, for someone who's never played an F1 game before, we're going to smash that easily. Those are the lap times we should be doing on these tyres in these conditions. Realistic F1 would do those lap times, but the F1 game is way too quick.
I've got some information on Alonso. They seem to have an issue.
Okay.
Okay, clear.
And he's gone. It's a permanent issue because he's gone. He's dropping. Such a great race from Alonso, but it's over. Either a DNF or a puncture.
Okay, really, really good. You hit that target nicely. There's a long way to go in this race, so let's keep it clean.
We're pulling away from Max now. I wonder if maybe he got damaged in that wheel-to-wheel combat with Alonso. Either way, I mean, I've started using overtake as well, but maybe now the track's starting to get just a bit wetter, and it's kind of suiting us now a bit more. I can tell it's getting wetter because the tyre temperature's now starting to regulate, hence my pace increase. So my left rear now under control. We've dropped 6 degrees, which is a lot. So the track is getting a bit more damp, finally, and we're now starting to show a bit better pace, and we're also finding more grip on this tyre. Although now Max is getting the hammer down. So let's see, this keeps fluctuating. Oh.
You're pushing too hard. It's causing your gearbox to take increased wear. Just be careful.
I think we're out. Oh my god, it's happened. The first time it's happened since the patch. I think we've lost our gearbox. Oh my days, and Verstappen's going to fully benefit from this as well. This is huge for the championship. Oh my god.
We're looking at some imminent gearbox issues, I'm afraid. Watch out for jams and misgears.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Heading to the top step once again. Max Verstappen takes the win.
To do it as a team on home soil, that really means something special, and you can see how much it means to them, the drivers involved as well. Great job by them today, of course, as always, but for the fans watching on too, a great display of teamwork here today.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
So race results in. Max Verstappen does indeed convert into a win along with a fastest lap of the race. So just when we got the championship lead, it's gone again. And Verstappen drives home the hammer on home territory. George Russell recovers to 7th place. Norris, Leclerc, Piastri also up in the top 6. So very good recovery drives from all of those guys. But your top 3, Verstappen, Sainz and Lance Stroll. So those are the race results. Let's actually jump into the standings and let's break this down. So we dropped to 2nd place. We're now 17 points behind Verstappen. So a mountain to climb yet again. Russell in 6th, closes in on Alonso of course after having car trouble, and we still have a pretty healthy margin over Checo Perez. Now in the constructors, 50 points. 50 points is the gap to Red Bull, still pretty much 100 over Ferrari, so we've still got a decent margin, but Red Bull again just extend their gap just when we were starting to get on top and close things up. So yeah guys, I want to hear thoughts down below. Either way, on screen now you're going to have the post-race driver ratings, and I think for the first time ever, I'm kind of guessing here, I can't see what's happening, but we might actually take a bit of pain. I'm not sure how the game is going to register a DNF, and it's definitely going to be noticeable on the rivalries, so yeah, definitely not ideal, and a weekend to forget, which was actually going really well, and we seemed to have a really good car. So guys, like the video, subscribe for more daily F1 content on my channel. Check the links down below guys for channel sponsors and affiliates, along with SRC of course for the setups I use in these races. Also check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care, and that's goodbye from me.